If you've been in any way exposed to memory techniques and memory enhancement, you've probably heard about the powerful, ultra powerful memory palace technique. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about the best and most effective times to review your memory palaces. And stick around till the end of this video because I'm going to let you know how you can get a checklist of my top 75 superhuman hacks, which I've learned from 175 of the world's top performers. Hey everyone, Jonathan Levy here, author of Become a Super Learner and one of the web's largest courses on accelerated learning. And you know, with 150,000 students to date, I get asked a lot of questions. And one of the questions that comes up from students is, when should I review my memory palaces? You see, students in our courses understand the importance of something called spaced repetition, meaning to do review. Even if you use some of the most powerful memory techniques out there, like the memory palace technique, you're still going to need to review. I mean, when I interviewed Ron White, a US memory champion, he told me that because he doesn't review things he learns in competition, he actually forgets them a week later. Spaced repetition, though, means not reviewing every single day, but rather reviewing after 1 day, after 4 days, after 7 days, after 10 days, and eventually you only need to review once every 6 to 12 months. So how do you do this in the beginning and also as you go along with memory palaces? I mean, there's such an intense visual process that it might not work while you're sitting around watching TV, like you could simply flip through those boring old flashcards. Well, one of the things that I like to do, besides just occasionally when I need the information or when I'm waiting in line, is I will often review my memory palaces while I'm trying to fall asleep. And I look at it this way. It's a lot more effective and productive than just simply counting sheep in your head, which is another visual technique that's been used for centuries to fall asleep. But in addition to that, you get an incredible benefit. You see, we don't know a lot about what the brain does during sleep, but one of the things we do know is that it uses this time, the hippocampus uses this time to determine what is worth memorizing and what is not. And for that reason, one of the things that we teach in our courses is actually to do your review or wind down review before bed. You see, what you do before bed is going to be fresh in your mind, and it's going to more likely convince your mind to move that information from short-term into long-term memory. If you want to see an example of how this kind of works, ironically, a completely imaginative, completely fictional movie for children by Pixar covers it really, really nicely. That movie, as you guys may know, is called Inside Out. And in that movie, when the child is asleep, they go into a deep part of the brain, the hippocampus. And if my memory serves me, there's a couple of funky, goony-looking guys going around with the vacuum, and they come upon a memory. And they go, oh man, we used to love that, but yeah, looks here like we haven't used it in a long time, and they suck it out. I saw that movie and I was blown away because clearly someone from Pixar understands the way that the hippocampus works. Now, this doesn't happen for every memory every night, and of course there's no vacuum involved, I promise you. But this is exactly the process the brain does. It asks, when was the last time we used this information? Is this information still emotionally relevant to us? And if it's not, out it goes. Doesn't really matter how important it is. Now, there are exceptions to that. You're never going to forget your childhood sweetheart. You're probably never going to forget the phone number to your parents' house. Those are so deeply emotionally ingrained, you'll never forget them. But for everything else you're trying to learn, of course, you need to do that review and spaced repetition. But do it smart. Don't use boring flashcards. Use memory palaces. Don't use a lame system of reviewing everything every time. Use spaced repetition. And with this technique, I hope that you will be able to improve your usage of memory palaces and minimize on the amount of work that you need to do. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, albeit a little bit advanced. If you guys want to learn more about different ways to hack your mind and your body and your life, go ahead and check out this. Check out the link that's appearing on your screen to download a completely free checklist of my top 75 superhuman hacks.